Hello and welcome to How Can You Benefit from a Bulletproof Business Continuity Strategy with Greg Smith, Director of IT from Janus International. I am Gaurav Bakshi, Principal Product Manager at Nutanix, responsible for our data protection and disaster recovery features and products. So, Greg, can you tell us more about yourself and your role at Janus International?
Sure. Thanks, Gaurav. I'm Greg Smith, Director of Information Technology at Janus International. I started with Janus probably in 2015 as the infrastructure manager. Um, and at that time, we were really the infrastructure was old and tired. Um, One of the very first things we did there was revamp the infrastructure, and Nutanix was really our central portion of that. We really pushed toward trying new innovative technologies, and when we had identified Nutanix as being one of them. Just recently, in 2019, I actually assumed the role of Director of Information Technology, and I'm now responsible for all of IT for Janus across the globe.
Thank you. That sounds like quite a journey. Can you tell us more about the business that Janus International is in?
Sure. Janus International is the leading provider of self storage doors and hallway systems. We started off as a manufacturer of doors. We actually will make the entire self storage facility now. We will build the building, we will build the hallways, we will manufacture the doors and install them. We really are a one stop shop when it comes to self storage. Recently, we've been expanding and going into other areas other than self storage. So, residential garage doors, more of your industrial doors for items such as warehouses and items like that. So, we're really starting to expand, but we truly are a global company. We started off when I joined the company in 2015, we had 6 locations. We now have 12 in the US and 5 internationally. So it's been a time of growth, really strong growth over the last couple of years.
Wow. So sounds like you are in the business of data protection. Just like we are in the business of data protection, you are in the business of protection as well. So let us talk more in detail about your Nutanix environment. Last time we were talking, you told me that you were running Nutanix HV. Can you tell us what kind of applications and workloads are you running on Nutanix HV?
Sure. So a little bit of background. When we started, we were not running AHV. We were running VMware. We've kind of done that Nutanix journey. So we started off with 1 cluster. We've expanded to 2. Now we're at 3. Uh, and we migrated, did an in-place migration from VMware to AHV. Uh, Honestly, AHV and Nutanix are our server infrastructure. We run everything on those. We no longer have any standalone servers. So we're running our ERP system, we're running SQL servers, we're running our file shares, all of our infrastructure services, and our development and test environments run on Nutanix. So we do not have any other server infrastructure other than Nutanix and AHV.
Wow, that's a lot. So we were talking about applications and workloads on Nutanix HV. Before we jump into your DR environment, can you tell us why is DR important for these applications and workloads that you're running? Why is it so important for your business?
Well, so being a manufacturing company, we are trying to be as lean as possible. And part of being lean is having systems that will uh, enhance and improve the manufacturing process. And without having high availability of those systems, we're not really able to achieve that. We cannot have a computer system or a piece of software fail and stop production. That costs more money than anything else. So uh, it's so DR is truly uh, key for us to operate efficiently. That guarantee that we're going to be. Um, Along with that, you think about customer service. Janus International prides itself on customer service. We try to, when our customers are ordering product from us or ordering services from us, we strive to provide as much as we can as far as customer service. So, as an IT department, we need to do have that same mentality when it comes to our internal customers. If we provide that to them, then they can pass that ability to provide excellent customer service or excellent services onto our customers. Um, so a lot of the things that we're doing have really changed as we're going. So, we used to really depend on that traditional backup, nightly backup. But as we've expanded around the world, our backup windows have gotten smaller and smaller. And AHV and the Nutanix have really helped us change the way we're thinking about DR, how we're providing it, and actually has really provided us with a much more robust environment than what we had.
Sounds like Nutanix has helped you really modernize your DR, not only your infrastructure, but as well as your DR implementation. So, can you spend a few minutes explaining what is your DR implementation like? How do you protect these critical workloads and applications that you are talking about? And how do you ensure business continuity in your data centers?
Sure. So we are running an active configuration, and we have, as I said earlier, we have 3 clusters. We have one in Temple, Georgia. We have another in Bremen, Georgia, and we have one in Statesville, North Carolina. Our main data center is actually in Bremen, Georgia, and we are basically running the site has their own local resources that they run. But we then replicate those local services back and forth between the various clusters. Our main data center in Bremen, we have a number of RPOs set up, or data protection domains, with different RPOs. So we are running NearSync for our ERP and our SQL servers. So we keep those in sync within about a minute to our Temple, Georgia facility. We have a 1 hour data protection domain, which is for our less critical systems, such as human resources, items like that. 8 hours for your Excel files and items like that. And then our infrastructure servers, we only really replicate once a day. At night, we replicate those infrastructure servers back and forth. Our Temple, Georgia, Statesville, North Carolina, they have servers that they use to run the local production there. We are really feeding data from our ERP from Bremen into those systems, but we replicate those servers back into our main data center from those locations so that they can have that DR, but we keep the main services local because if we have some sort of communication outage, we need those services to be running local. So it's an active configuration, but I think the big point about this is that we can set up different schedules, different DR schedules based on the criticality of the data. We're not tied into doing it one way for everything.
Yeah. So last time when we were talking, you also mentioned that you actually had an actual DR event right at one of your sites, and can you tell us more about that experience? As in, how did you recover? How easy was it? How fast was it?
So, we did it. We were setting up our DR solution for NearSync between Bremen and Temple. This was when we added our second cluster. Statesville hadn't come online yet, and we were setting up the DR between the two, and we had it configured, and we were scheduling a test for the weekend to make sure that it was going to do what we wanted it to do. Um, Unfortunately, somebody got a little uh, happy with the backhoe and dug up a major fiber line out along a U.S. state route right near us. And one of the things about being manufacturing typically likes to run or build their facilities in rural areas. It's cheap land, so that means that we don't always have the luxury of multiple redundant paths and communication and items like that. So sometimes the backhoe can basically take out everything. So we have, as you know, we have multiple sites across the country. We have facilities in Arizona and California. Uh, they all run at that time. Our main data center was really in Temple, Georgia, and we were getting ready to migrate that to Bremen. And that part of setting up this NearSync was part of that process. So when they dug up the fiber, we basically lost communication between our main system and all of our other sites. Uh, at the at that time, we decided to do the failover. We basically brought Bremen on live at that point, and it was. I was really amazed. I was really amazed about how simple it was. It took honestly, it took about 5 minutes for everything for us to get it up and confirm that things were running. There, prior to that, there is really absolutely no way that we could have achieved that in less than 48 hours. And that in 48 hours is only critical systems. Uh, Within 5-10 minutes, we had literally failed every system we had over to another data set. Once we got the communication line was brought back up and we restored communication to our Temple facility, we were actually able to sync the data back up and continue on. So it was. I would give great kudos to the Nutanix team. It was super simple.
Wow, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you, Greg. That was very insightful. And if you want to hear more about Greg's journey from Nutanix vSphere to Nutanix HV and this DR event, you can find that reference on nutanix.com as well. We hope this was very helpful for you to learn about the what, why, and how of delivering a Nutanix enabled DR bulletproof business continuity strategy. With that, me, Gaurav, and Greg Smith from Janus will sign off.